Hello, space travelers, Star Wars fans, I imagine, or people who are interested in hearing a floating head talk about Ahsoka Episode 4. 'Cause that's what we're gonna do right now. Um, I've been liking the show. I guess it hasn't been my favorite Star Wars thing, but it's been a fun ride. So far, we're 4 episodes in now. That's halfway through, I believe. Um, and yeah, tonight I just watched episode 4, maybe like an hour ago or so of Ahsoka. That's right, there she is. What a surprise ending scene, huh? Wasn't that a surprise ending scene? Before we get to that, my general thoughts on episode 4, I would say it's probably my least liked of the season so far. I feel like out of all the episodes, this was probably the most like almost like the most filler in a way. Like, yeah, things happened and we progressed. We got the the map situation happening where they almost stole the map, and what I mean is Ahsoka and Sabine almost took the map back, and Sabine ended up going into that portal. I guess fast travel. Was it a portal? It was like light speed, whatever. So things did happen during the end. There was some interesting stuff going on, but it felt a little bit, especially the lightsaber fights and the action felt a little bit elongated, more than it needed to be, and a little bit anticlimactic. You know, it was all built in last episode's ending, like got me really excited for what was going to happen in the Force, you know? But it was kind of lackluster, the action, which we'll get to. And again, it feels like we're definitely in between big moments, you know? It represents, this episode, how these Star Wars series are pretty much, most of them, are just elongated movies, right? And we got to cut some scenes from a bigger movie in this episode. The other episodes I felt like at least were mostly self-contained. I had a nice beginning, ending, and middle and ending. This one, it's like, okay, let's see what happens next. Let's continue, you know. So I feel like this one will definitely benefit with a binge watch. This episode in particular, we'll see. Of course, we still got half the season left, and I think that we've pretty much seen everything from the trailers so far. So, which is kind of exciting. Like, okay, like of course there's still Thrawn to show up. So here's hoping Thrawn shows up next episode. You know, and we're not waiting till the final episode to see Thrawn. But I'm still interested and excited for what's coming. But I feel like this episode kind of, like last episode, kind of made me like raise the stakes a little bit and kind of got me more excited for the show. And this episode kind of brought me down a little bit more. Like my expectations are a little bit lowered now. Not by much, but I think it was mostly like the dialogue in this episode just felt a little bit even more stilted and a little bit more by the books and even somewhat cartoony than even the previous episodes. We'll see where it goes, but let's get into the scene by scene, and let's get into the more nitty-gritty spoilers, right? Spoiler time. Let's hide that image. Put up the video here. Check that out. Check that out. That was a pivotal moment, wasn't it? We'll get to that. So that was previously on. You know what's happening, right? They get to the planet. They're trying to escape the baddies. They need to get that map from the evil witch and the Inquisitors, the Sith Inquisitors, and they got trapped on this cool-looking planet with like red-leafed trees, and so they're stuck here trying to get out. Right? It was interesting. It was okay. Okay, nice. Fine start to this episode. We got Ahsoka being her typical Ahsoka TV series self, not quite animated Ahsoka self. The stoic, pausing between lines, somber Ahsoka. I think the actress for Sabine is doing a pretty good job here in general. Like I said before, I feel like this should be more the Sabine TV series, right? I don't know. That's what it feels like to me, at least. And then we get to these folk here. Now they're starting to look a little bit more cartoony. These bad guys at this point, right? Just the line delivery in general. It's like I need a little bit more grounded, dialogue and speech versus just this like more stilted, typical baddie lines, typical baddie dialogue that you would see like in a morning cartoon. In general, I guess Ahsoka is kind of a successor to the Rebel series, so it follows that more simplistic, cartoony story beats, And I think some of the performances, like Sabine, kind of elevated a little higher than that, but it's still kind of tied down a little bit to that style I think Filoni established with Rebels. This fight here felt a little bit hokey, a little bit, I don't know, like these robots, like it feels like they're toys right here, right? Like Rock'em Sock'em robots right here. Not the best fight scene here. But then they take care of them pretty quickly. This is okay, this is fine. And again, this feels like, I guess this is a TV series. Doesn't have the budget of a film. But I do feel like the backdrop, this volume they're filming in, does kind of take away from the immersion a little bit. It feels like they're in a soundstage, It's like, it would have been nice if they were in a real forest and maybe there were some added CG elements to the background and stuff. But no, it looks like they're in that volume in the latest version of green screening these days, right? Hera here is being a rebel, going to save, to go help out with Sabine and Ahsoka. Not listening to orders, which is cool. Again, I think she's doing a good job too. Mary Elizabeth Winston, Mary Winston Elizabeth something. And then we got, I guess this guy's like an old crew member from the other movies, right? I've seen him a lot in these Star Wars stuff. But again, this feels a little bit cartoony, but whatever. Back here, they're taking their time. It feels like, okay, you're finally gonna open this map up. Couldn't maybe last episode you could have done that. I don't know. They're taking their time, but here they go. They finally open the map, and now they're gonna find the coordinates. Witchcraft, he says. It's like, okay. Again, more standard cartoon talk here. And then we get the fight in the forest. So this is the scene, I think we saw part of it in the trailers, where I feel like the whole first half of the series has been building up to, right? Like, I was expecting some really badass stuff here, and we do get Sabine in her armor. She looks pretty cool in that armor, and she blasts off her blasters. So I mean, it's cool. It's a cool fight, but it is lacking something, right? And then this bad guy here, right? This Sith, like, you'd think they were building up to make him out to be someone real serious, someone real powerful, right? But this scene doesn't really compare to like the first fight scene they had together in like episode 2, I think. He does a cool spinny thing, but then pretty quickly Ahsoka takes him out, right? And there goes all those theories the fans have been having about, oh, is this Ezra? Is this like Sabine's brother? There's a bunch of theories out there. Who is this masked Sith Inquisitor or whatever? But then he like fades into dust at some point, right? It's kind of weird. Like, is he some kind of robotic alien thing or something? Not quite sure what's happening. And finally, we got the lightsaber scene, the rematch between Sabine and Shin, I think her name is. Again, that was okay, but whatever. So here he goes. I guess he's done, right? She's killed this baddie right here. There he goes. Turns into like, I guess dust or like smoke comes out of him. So is that like, is he supposed to be a machine? I don't know. Maybe it's a mystery until the end of time. Who knows? But that was pretty quick, right? I thought it would be a little bit more, some more action going on, a little bit more suspense. And then Ahsoka goes to go find the map. And it's just Sabine and Shin here. And I feel like they could have used a little more time with the choreography of the battles. It just didn't feel very weighty to me. And especially when Ahsoka meets up with this dude here. Like, this just feels a little bit too cliche, right? It's like, okay, we've seen this a bunch of times. He like senses her with the Force, doesn't have to look at her. He just like, yes, Anakin has told me so much about you. Ha ha ha. Well, that's funny. So Ahsoka then responds, he never mentioned you. It's like, okay. We're just playing by the book here, basically. The people who wrote this. Nothing incredibly exciting here. Like, even the camera work here, again, this is probably filmed in volume. Like, they did some good action in the earlier episodes, but this is just like, it's kind of slow. Like, maybe they could have like sped it up a little bit, like they do with older kung fu movies. Or actually, I think they slowed. Well, old kung fu movies, they were so fast that actually they slowed down some of the images, right? But here it's like they're just kind of slowly swinging at each other. Maybe we can play a little bit. Okay, getting ready. Let's go. In particular, there's a moment where the baddie raises his Star Wars roast battle. Yeah. I mean, did you even like this mess up behind you? I feel like this was like the worst of the saber battles I've seen on the show so far. Like, I don't know, I just felt it was just lacking. Um, and then of course the witches up here, and just in general the dialogue and everything just felt a little bit, lackluster there. You liked it? I thought it was dope. This one was okay, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I'll get to like later on when like at the end of the battle. This was kind of cool. I liked this fake out here where like okay you think she's gonna use her force powers, but she used the laser instead. She has like a laser gun on her wrist to shoot down. Shin is that her name? Shin. And then back to this. Like I don't know, maybe like if the camera moved a little bit more, it just felt a little bit too stilted. And then I guess she escapes with a smoke bomb, which is fine. I think right here, like how he raises his sword right there, like that just looks kind of funny to me. I don't know. Like it's like he's like using a toy. It doesn't really seem really real to me. Just kind of brought me out of it. It's like, ugh. Ugh. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I felt like they definitely have done it better in the early episodes. So we got that done there pretty much. Ahsoka thinks. Oh yeah, that's right. he did die, didn't he? It's not so much the actor. It's the people who are choreographing the action, right? I think he does a good job with what he's given, but and just the direction in general, So then I guess I think she thinks like Sabine dies or she's worried about Sabine because the other Sith Inquisitor comes by and is like she assumes that Shin I think kills her, but then Sabine turns up and it's like nope, she's alive. Yeah, exactly like a toy. It's like okay, thankfully Sabine's alive. And then this whole sequence too with him like convincing Sabine to like give back the map. Like I think the actor here, I mean they do a good job, but I feel like just the writing I think is a little off here. Like I think it felt a little bit too rushed here. There could have been some more dialogue here to like make me believe that okay, she's gonna turn it over right away, She takes a beat. She's like, yeah, I need to go see Ezra and stuff. I guess she feels like the only way to see Ezra is if she goes with them. But like the other, like I don't know, like I feel like maybe she could have fought a little more than this. But I guess she's intimidated. I don't know. It just felt a little bit forced here, especially like how it takes so long for her to give it to him. And this is kind of a problem with the show in general. Like like the dialogue, there's a lot of pauses. A lot of it just takes a long time to get through. Like each character like takes like 10 seconds before they do something, and I think it's like the director or maybe the writers are like, okay, let's just make it longer to make it seem more intense, but it's not really. Like it's like artificially making it more suspenseful, but it's not. I don't know. And then there's the force choke. And so the bad guys won pretty much for now. this is like the middle of the season, so it's like, okay, this is the moment where like the heroes are, on the downturn. Like this is their lowest point, I guess. This is kind of interesting. I guess this kind of reminds me when they go through when they actually travel with the machine and warp speed to the location of wherever Thrawn is. They actually smash through Hera's ships, right? Hera and her crew. And like, it's kind of like what happened in The Last Jedi, right? When the Holdo maneuver, I think they call it, when they use time warp or what's it called? The light speed to like ram through one of the enemy battleships. But luckily, I guess Hera doesn't get killed. It's only like a few of her crew that does, right? Some of the wingmen and wingwomen. So I don't know exactly how this works, but I guess like there's spaces where I guess she dodged it because it doesn't. I don't know. It's like it's weird. So she goes through them, and only some of them survive. I guess Hera has plot armor, but that's okay. I don't want her to die right now. And so now I'm assuming, okay, so now Hera's gonna have to go find Ahsoka on the planet. But where exactly is Ahsoka now? This was a cool transition, admittedly. Cannot deny that. It goes from the water to just Ahsoka there in some kind of dream space, some limbo between life and death or something. I think I remember I've seen a recap of what happened on Rebels, and I guess there was a scene or something where Ezra goes back in time and saves Ahsoka or something. And it kind of looks like this, right? So this is like some kind of in-between space. Is this like the spirit realm? And then, what do you know? It's her master, Anakin. That's the surprise twist at the end here. I guess he looks okay. It kind of looks a little bit CG, but it's not, right? Maybe just makeup or something. Maybe I guess they probably de-aged him a little bit, right? Because he's supposed to be looking like he looked back in episode 2 or something. Probably he's supposed to look like he looked like right before he turned to Darth Vader, right? It's a place connected to the Force that acknowledges what is and what has been. Okay, interesting. So she's gonna communicate with Anakin here. So what is Ghost Anakin's intentions here? Like at this point, this is after the original trilogy. So I guess Anakin is in the good side now, right? He's a good guy, He's no longer Darth Vader, right? So I guess he's gonna offer some helpful advice here, and maybe bring Ahsoka back to life, snap her back to life, and we're gonna see her come out of the water next episode. And then Hera's gonna like rescue her, I guess. That's what I assume is gonna happen. But then how are they going to get to Sabine? Sabine and the bad folk are now light years away in another galaxy, right? They just successfully traveled to wherever, or are on their way to wherever Thrawn and Ezra are at. So that is exciting. It is pretty big cliffhanger here, right? In a way, like this is the pivotal moment where like the series is really going to get started, I guess, because like I said before, I don't think we've seen pretty much everything we've seen in the trailers. with the exception of Thrawn showing up. So, like, I don't think anyone really knows what's going to happen next, right? So it is pretty exciting to see where this is going to go. Of course, Sabine, I guess, felt like she had to go with the bad guys. That was her only choice because the whole point of this episode is really like Ahsoka versus Sabine. Ahsoka was saying, we have to sacrifice the map, even if it means we can't see Ezra again. She was like, if we can't get the map, then no one should. My mom may know what happens next. I'm not sure what you're implying there, or just being funny. So then Sabine was like, her conclusion was that, like, no, I'm gonna disobey Ahsoka, and my friendship with Ezra is more important, no matter if that means that Thrawn is gonna come back and lead the Empire or whatever. And I sympathize with Sabine. I mean, if your friends like gone missing, you're gonna do everything you can, right, to get them back, right? And like, this is a Star Wars, right? The good guys are gonna fight Thrawn. We're gonna rescue our friends, and we're gonna save the day, right? And I think that's what's gonna happen, right? Because Thrawn doesn't succeed. He doesn't show up in the sequel trilogy. There's no Thrawn in Force Awakens or the following movies. But maybe he's pivotal to the resurrection of Palpatine or whatever. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I feel like probably because this was just like an in-between episode where, like, just some more table settings and some more just the plot did move along a bit, but I feel like we're just like in the middle of the season, so it probably wasn't, probably my least favorite of the episode so far, but we'll see. But still, I'm still gonna be excited. I'm still gonna keep watching. Still got half the season left,